It's a teen talk skating podcast where I embarrass myself. Hello, and welcome to episode number 81 of the Teen Talks Gaming Podcast. My name is Van Gogh, and I hope you guys are all doing quite well. I did go back to school this week. I'm already kind of stressed. I'm not gonna lie, some of my classes seem like a lot of work, and everything is kind of going wrong in a way, but going right at the same time, I guess. I have no idea. I did text a friend for like an hour straight about like the craziness that's happening in my life today, but whatever, I don't even know. You guys are all doing well. Obviously my podcast will be continuing for the long term, so I don't really see it being distracted by school. But just know that I'm stressed out, man, and so maybe I won't get a huge chance to make a lot of notes for every episode, but I will still be able to record every episode. It only takes me about an hour every week, and then uploading is quite a simple process, and then doing the notes is in about another hour. So not too much work for me, but still, yeah, school will definitely kind of ruin my schedule with my podcast episodes. But I'm still gonna hope to provide, really quality informational episodes that have not a lot of ranting in the future, hopefully. But yeah, back to school. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope work is going well. I hope school is going well if you're also in school. If you're not in school yet, like, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous of you. But that probably means you ended school kind of late. But anyway, I don't really know. I guess it's the government. I don't even know what I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, let's go over to our program of the week before we get into our episode, which is a very exciting episode. So let's go over to the program of the week. Program of the week. Okay, guys, so for our program of the week this week, I have a gala exhibition program. I know I don't do these too often, and honestly, sometimes I forget that there even is an exhibition gala after competitions. I should probably remember that more because it's technically 1/3 of the programs that skaters perform, and that's a pretty hefty amount. But not all skaters obviously do the gala. Some skaters do, some skaters don't. It kind of depends on the event. But anyway, for this episode, the program of the week I have is the exhibition gala from the 2017 European Figure Skating Championships, and that is Denis Valsiev's gala. That competition it is set to the music "Bring Him Home," which is from Les Mis, performed by Josh Groban. This is a really nice program. First of all, I want to say that I kind of forgot what Denis Valsiev's kind of looked like when he was younger. I feel like he looks a lot different now. I think mostly because of the hair. We've seen his hair go through so many transformations, but he used to look a lot different when he was younger. I feel like this is almost, it's about 8 years ago, almost, 10 years ago. Anyway, this program to bring him home performed by Josh Groban, is a very operatic program, I think, and it fits Denis Salcia's skills very well. And I think it shows that even in his earlier career, his younger senior career, he still had those skating skills. He still had that performance ability. First of all, or second of all, third of all, I don't even know the tuxedo kind of thing he's doing. It has like flowy sleeves. That's like my favorite thing in a costume. Sorry, but anyway, specific moments in this program, he does do a double flip in the beginning. I think it was meant to be a triple, but oh well, who cares? He does do a double flip in the beginning, and he kind of leaps out of it, but at the same time, he doesn't. He kind of just switches or turns it on his blade in a good way. I don't know. It's a satisfying way. It's a satisfying manner. Looking towards the other parts of the program, there is this, very nice camel spin in the middle of it where it feels very free. It doesn't look very tight. He's not trying to get those level fours or anything. He's really trying to get just captivating the audience in that way. There's another moment in the program where he has a huge cantilever while Josh Groban sings like a huge cool note. So he's like kind of doing a side squat on the ground, I guess, is what a cantilever really is, and he's sliding across the ice. It's a beautiful motion. He's been able to do that skill forever. It's a really cool skill in his repertoire, and I think in general, a lot of the program has a lot of good clean edge work, a lot of clean blade work here and there, very much turning and twisting on each edge, very beautifully. and then being able to gain the speed. You can really see the wind like going into his flowy sleeves. That's really how you know that he is skating pretty fast. He's able to generate a lot of speed on the ice. And so I think from a skating skills perspective, this program is really good as an exhibition, but visually as well, it's very beautiful. It's very appealing. The final scratch spin in the end, he goes super super fast with his hands way above his head, and then he kind of lowers his hands, and it's really cool motion to make. But yeah, a really good program. I think Josh Goran, we've often heard him in figure skating, but this is a really good Josh Goran program. So yeah, please go listen to it after listening to this episode. Denis Vasiliev and his 2017 European Gala to bring him home from Les Mis, performed by Josh Groban. And now it is time for our main episode. So let's go over there. Okay? Okay. That was your program of the week. Okay, guys, so I'm very excited to record this episode because we are going to be discussing our very first kind of major competition of the whole season. There has, yes, been technically other competitions that have already happened, but those are very much what I would consider very much more summer competitions, and these summer competitions are usually not as big. The skaters there can be, notable names to mention. We've seen, already like Yuma Kageyama, for example, compete at a summer competition. But these competitions are usually on the smaller side, and they're usually more domestic rather than international. And so I haven't really been discussing any of those really minor competitions, though I think next week I might make a kind of compilation slash summary episode of them. But anyway, the first big major international competition of the whole season is this season, the Challenger Series Cranberry Cup that just happened last weekend. So, pretty early for a Challenger Series event. I do like it. I remember, I think last year was the first year that the Cranberry Cup was part of the Challenger Series, and I'm happy that they've continued it. I think having a Challenger Series in August is kind of a fun event to have. It's different, but also, engaging and something fun to watch after a summer or like 3.5 months ish without skating from like April to August. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of competitions until like September now, but whatever. But anyway, the CS Cranberry Cup or the Challenger Series Cranberry Cup. I wanted to talk about the overall competition. It was based in Norwood, Massachusetts, not Boston. Last week I said Boston. I don't really know why. I think my head was still stuck at the 2025 World Figure Skating Championships in Boston. But this competition, the Challenge Series Cranberry Cup, was held at Norwood, Massachusetts, which I believe is just outside Boston, so I wasn't too wrong. Anyway, I wanted to note something a lot of people were kind of complaining about. A lot of people were talking about is that U.S. figure skating, USFS, or the U.S. figure skating, kind of the main governing body of figure skating in the U.S. They were, the sponsor, the creators of this event. They did sponsor it, etc. They did provide a free stream on their YouTube that played the real music of the figure skaters. I believe everyone got their real music during the live stream, but after the live stream, they started uploading the individual videos. So instead of having all the skaters in one long live stream, they posted like Isabel Levito free skate or Isabel Levito short program, and those programs unfortunately had a weird AI music. A lot of people are saying it's AI music. It is just sounding quite generic to me. It was like generic jazz music, generic tango music, generic somewhat 1900s classical. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it's AI. I feel like it probably is AI because I don't know. AI is everything and everything these days. But so yeah, so there were free streams. I have to admit, there were free streams on YouTube where you could actually hear the real music of the skaters. So that was actually good. Good job, USFS. But after that, they uploaded the videos individually with weird AI music, which I do believe has to do with copyright. I know. I think we've maybe discussed this before in the podcast. Is that there was kind of a law or some kind of ruling that USFS, US Figure Skating, cannot use copyrighted music in their programs. And so I think at the end of the day, it's just about copyright. I personally, I do hate the AI music and the random, after everything is uploaded and stuff, but like at least we have a video of a skater skating on the ice. I'm not kind of happy about that. I'm not happy about the music, but I'm at least happy that we got videos and I didn't have to like scour the internet for illegal streams or anything, you know what I mean? So I'm at least happy that we got something. I will say the streams got taken down like the day after they happened, so that's not the best. But, it's better than nothing, and at least the videos are on YouTube, and they're probably gonna stay there for a while. So at least you can watch someone skate to music that doesn't really match them because it's made by I guess. I don't know. Anyway, moving on from that, there was quite a small audience. I don't know why there was such a small audience. I noticed the Challenge Series event. I know it's August, but it seemed to me that maybe I don't know. I don't really know, but they were definitely cheering the skaters on. They were quite supportive of the skaters. I guess the overall event wasn't too bad, but oh my god, U.S. figure skating needs to solve their music issues. Maybe they don't have enough money to. I don't know. What the heck? I don't know. Anyway, that was kind of my mini rant on like the competition itself as a whole. I will say this was a good competition. I liked having it obviously as an opener to the season. I think it gives me a lot of new excitement and obviously new things to watch because I've been bored the whole season watching tennis. Like, oh my gosh, the whole summer I've been watching tennis of all sports. Tennis. Anyway, the challenge series Cranberry Cup only had the men's and the women's event, so that's all we're gonna be discussing. There were no pairs event and there was no ice dance event. So no love for them just yet, though, there will be competitions for them coming up very soon. I wanna have this public disclaimer that it is August. I feel like a lot of people were kind of freaking out over some of these results. Remember that this is just August, guys. Like the doomsday thinking people just need to calm down a little bit, take a chill pill, sit down, get some water, because just because someone does bad in August does not mean they are the worst skater on the planet ever to exist, because that's me, honestly. But I feel like a lot of people are doomsday thinking, oh my god, Isabella Vito, she did this, she under rotated her jump. Oh my god, she's not making the Olympic podium. Like, are we serious, people? Like, what I mean? Like, it's August, like, as much as I think, yes, trajectory matters, consistency matters, but it's the first competition after the summer. August is not, the best indicator of where someone will place at the Olympics or the Grand Prix or Worlds this season at all. Because again, those competitions are much later. There's, more time to build and reflect and discuss and work on skating. And so yeah, I really don't think that, because oh my gosh, Jimmy Ma popped this jump, he's not gonna make the Olympic team. I really don't think that is super, super duper realistic in a way. That's just my hot take, and I'm sorry if you disagree with me. You totally are allowed to. But yeah, I try to watch most of the skaters, but some of them I only saw their short program and not the music. Some of them I only saw their free skate and not the music. So bear with me as I try to explain what happened. You know what I mean. US figure skating and the music issues. I hope they get solved in the future one day. And so let's start off with the Challenge Series Cranberry Cup review. I feel like this will go by pretty fast. I don't have a lot to say again because it's more of an early competition. But anyway, in the men's category, this was definitely a men's event. As you know, there is a kind of this term in figure skating called menning, like it's a verb to men. Menning is the verb, and it discusses an event where the ordinals or the placements or where skaters are ranked in the short program are completely different from where they are ranked in the free skate after the free skate and overall. So a skater could go from second in the short program to 13th and after the free skate, and something crazy like that could happen. And that's really typical of men's events. I will say statistically, I feel like it's more, it makes sense that it's more likely because men are doing, crazy things on the ice sometimes. And I feel like some men just don't have a good day and they just don't get the free skate of their lives, and that's okay. Starting off in seventh place, we have Jimmy Ma from the USA. He was first after the short program and 11th after the free skate. So again, this is another example of menning because He was literally first after the short and 11th after the free skate, and that equals seventh, I guess. In the short program, he was first. He did not have a perfect program, but it was a good program to keep him afloat. He got his quad toe done. He did do a step out on his triple axel, and his triple lutz triple toe had quite the major save, but no fault on it, no under rotations. And so, I think by having the best program of all the, error ridden programs is where Jimmy Ma really shined in the short program. He was unfortunately unable to kind of hold on to that in the free skate. He fell on a quad toe attempt. He popped a quad toe into a double toe, and he had a spin invalidated as well as a edge call on his triple flip. I will say about the invalidated spin, I'm not too sure about why the spin was invalidated. Again, I'm not a technical controller, so I don't know. I think it had to do with the entry of the spin. If I'm looking at the spin correctly, I think it had to do with the entry of the spin. But despite this, maybe disappointing performance, again, it's August, and while this might have been an unfortunate result for the 2025 Four Continents bronze medalist, I do think Jimmy Ma is still one of the hopefuls to take that spot on the third spot on the Olympic team, assuming that the three spots for the men will go to Ilya Malinin, Jason Brown, and then a third U.S. man. Jimmy Ma has had quite a long career. This may or may not be his last season and therefore his last attempt to make the Olympics. He's had a lot of experience over a lot of the other men, and he really wants to pull it all together, hopefully, this upcoming season. I, again, am not hoping, or I am not hoping, no, I am hoping that he is able to regain some of that consistency because he definitely can be a surprise and a real threat for the Olympic team compared to some of the other men in the US who might struggle or might fall beneath him. In sixth place, we had Donovan Carrillo, our fan favorite skater from Mexico. This was a pretty decent performance for Donovan Carrillo. He was sixth in the short program and fourth in the free skate. In the short program, he did get, unfortunately, an under rotation call on his quad sal, a good triple axel done, and then he popped his triple flip, triple toe into a triple flip, double toe, and a little bit negative Jewy on his little spin there. In the free skate, he was fourth there, so, somewhat redemptive. He did pop a quad sal triple toe into a double sal single toe, but then he did the same jump after the quad sal triple toe and just got a quarter on his triple toe, which is pretty good, I feel like. The rest of the program went smoothly. He even got a triple lutz double axel done, but then he did pop a triple flip into a single flip. But this was a pretty good performance for Donovan Carrillo. I do think that, this shows some improvement. As you might know, Mexico does not have a spot at the Olympics for any of their events. Donovan Carrillo is hopefully trying to, or he is trying, he's definitely trying, right? He's trying to qualify a spot for Mexico at the Olympics like he did last time at the Olympics where he was able to qualify for Mexico. But this time he will be hopefully able to qualify at the qualifying event that will be happening in China next month, I believe. I think he does have the technical ability. We've seen him do these crazy jumps. Quad style triple toe is definitely not easy at all. Nothing to sneeze at. But he would love to be cleaner on those jumps just to be more secure overall. I wouldn't say his Olympic spot for Mexico is necessarily guaranteed or secured based on who we think is gonna go there. To qualify for their country. But, I think that he has a pretty good chance of it, and he would have an even higher chance if he's able to clean up some of those jumps for that competition. So good luck to Daniel Carrillo. Hopefully he's able to get to the Olympics for Mexico again. Okay, in fifth place is a rising star from the US. Here, maybe it was not his best competition, though he did place the highest out of any US man at the home event. That is Jacob Sanchez. He was a junior skater and he has been competing, I believe this season. He's going to be competing only on the senior ranks, which is really good, getting that experience. He is 16th in the world as well, which is really good that's actually really surprising. I did not know that. Like he's 16th in the world. Anyway, he was second in the short program with a clean skate, triple flip, triple axel, triple lutz, triple toe, all clean, all good. Very close to first place. Unfortunately, he had a seventh place free skate here. He did pop a quad sal attempt into a double sal. he did kind of step out from his triple axel and try to tack on a double toe, another triple axel error, but the rest of the program was pretty good. Again, just not the cleanest skate. His technical score definitely suffered here, but his components were still pretty good. But, as the highest ranked US man here out of a lot of, maybe more strong, more experienced skaters, this is a really impressive result for him. I really do see Jacob Sanchez as someone who could make it on the Olympic team as a big surprise, but we will definitely see there. Okay, in fourth place from Israel was Tamir Cooperman. He was fourth in the shirt program with a clean-ish skate. He did do a quad sal, but he popped a, I believe, quad toe, triple toe into a double toe, triple toe, and he did do a triple axel, which is good. And then, unfortunately, he dropped to fourth, or no, he stayed in fourth after the free skate with a fifth place free skate. He popped a quad lutz into a double lutz, a quarter on his quad sal, popped a quad toe into double toe, and a little bit of a spin error. But obviously, I think you're technically very, very good in this field. Probably the strongest technical elements in the field, going for, I think, four quads in his free skate and, triple axel as well. Really good in that. Okay, and third place is where I feel like the most drama happened. This skater went from 11th in the short program to second in the free skate and third overall, and that is Steven Gogolev of Canada. Yes, you heard those ordinals right. 11th in the short, second in the free equals third overall. That has to be one of the crazier statistics I've seen. I do remember, however, Adam Schoenfeld going from 19th to third, so you never know in this sport. You never know. But the young Canadian star had an 11th place in the show program. He did do a quad sal, but he did, I believe, fall on a quad toe and get a quarter call, and he failed to get a combo on. The triple axel was good, but then he invalidated a spin, the camel spin at the very end. Oh no, sit spin. Sorry, chain sit spin. But an absolutely redemptive free skate. In fact, a personal best actually for Steven Gulev, a completely clean program, quad sal, quad toe, quad sal, double toe, a triple axel, a triple flip, triple axel, which is really impressive. That is a difficult combination. A triple lutz and a triple loop to seal the deal off. Technically, he was actually first, technically in the short program or the free skate. 93 points technically is not a number to laugh at all. That is really impressive. Components wise, he was a little weaker, only sixth in the field, but this was a strong showing for Steven Gogolev. He is actually only 20 years old. I searched that up. That actually kind of surprised me because he was a super young star, rising star that kind of fizzled out in the senior ranks. He was, I believe, 13 or 14 only when he won the Junior Grand Prix final. That was only 6 years ago. Now he stands at the age of 20. He's gone through injury, he's gone through growth spurts, he's gone through a lot of events in his life, and now he is kind of hopefully getting back some of that stardom from his junior career. I really do hope that this is the start of something new. He's technically really capable, but unfortunately the consistency has not totally been there the entire time. But here's hoping that will change for him. In second place, we have the 2024 European silver medalist, Alexander Selevko, who placed third in both the short and the free skate. In his short program, he was third with a okay skate. He did pop a triple lutz triple toe into a single lutz triple toe, and then he did get a quarter on his quad toe attempt. In the free skate, which was very dramatic and theatrical, I would say, in a classical way, he did get a quad lutz done, a quad toe done, and a triple axel done, but unfortunately kind of had issues on his pop double flip with an edge call, his double axel, triple toe with an under rotation call on the end, and a little error on his triple flip double toe. But a fairly successful free skate. He looked quite happy with it. He was someone who was hoping to get another European medal this past season, but hopefully building back some consistency this season in the process. And yeah, first place, I'm super happy about. This was such a huge and very, very pleasant surprise for me. And first place with a fifth place short program and a first place free skate was Roman Sadovsky of Canada, because Roman Sadovsky did it. What the heck? This is the first senior international gold for Roman Sadovsky, and I believe the first win by any Canadian man at an international competition for quite some time now. I think probably since the days of maybe Keegan Messing and Nam Wing, maybe. I have no idea. But anyway, Roman Sadowski doing amazing here. His show program, he was fifth place there, a quarter on his quad sal, and then a quarter on his triple lutz, and he did not get a combo off of it. He fell on the triple lutz as well, which was unfortunate. But he had absolute redemption in the free skate. This is the best free skate that I've seen Roman Sadowski do in quite some time. Roaring quad style in the beginning, triple Lutz, triple toe, triple axle, triple loop, double axle, a quad style Euler, triple style, a triple Lutz, and just a triple flip with an edge call, which is only big mistake. But I have not seen Roman do two clean quad axles in quite some time. He's had it, for a long time now in his layout, two quad axles, one in the first half, one in the second half in combo. Very, very good performance. Very, very astonishing for him here. I hope that this is again another turning point after a lot of struggles with injury, a lot of struggles with inconsistency over the years. And I hope he learns how to put two pretty decent programs together. I will say I liked his free skate. It was set to Photograph by Cody Fry and Claire Lune by Claude Debussy. And I always said that Roman had nice lines and good extensionist skating. This program is very classical, very, very accentuates that quality very well in him. So that was the men's event. Again, as a recap, third was Steven Gogolev of Canada, second, Alexander Selevko of Estonia, first, Roman Sadowski of Canada. Moving on to the women's field, I'm talking about the top 5 women here, and this was a really nice competition for a kind of chaotic field. I'm quite nervous for women's figure skating this season. I feel like there's so much going on, so many storylines, and I am quite scared. The ordinals compared to the men, though, were a lot calmer. The men were going from 11th to 3rd and from 5th to 1st, but the women fairly stayed pretty consistent for sure. First off, from the USA, I have Josephine Lee. She was fifth in both programs for a fifth place finish overall. She had an underrotation on her triple flip, triple toe on that second half, and a slight error on the triple loop as well. In the free skate for Josephine Lee, she was fifth there. Edge call on the triple flip, double toe, underrotation on the triple lutz, quarter and edge call on the triple flip and double axle, quarter on the triple loop, and an underrotation on the triple toe, double toe. So, definitely having issues with the under rotations, but I'm really hoping she's able to fix those. Most of them seem to be quarter calls, so hopefully that's something she can fix. I do notice that she doesn't maybe jump quite as high as the other skaters, and maybe she doesn't rotate as fast enough to counteract that. So I'm hoping that she's able to really work on that in the future as well. She was back in 2024 the silver medalist at US Nationals, and I think a lot of people really thought that would be kind of the beginning of her rise, beginning of her really good career, but she struggled here and there with consistency up until now. She's hoping to find that kind of stardom again. And I really hope that, she can be maybe a huge surprise at nationals. She could be able to get a really good result and prove herself in front of America. But those consistency issues or rotation issues are unfortunately hampering her scores down right now, and I really hope she's able to fix that. And fourth place is another American skater who has had some pretty good showings nationally, and she's starting off her international season with some good skating. That is Sonja or Sonia, I believe it's Sonia for her. Sonia Hilmer of the USA. She was fourth in both programs for fourth overall. Fourth in the short, she had a personal best. She did do a triple toe, but under rotated the second half of that. A slight error on her camel spin, but the short program was a jazzy program. It's a little classical, it's a little jazzy, it's very fun. A lot of people love kind of the jazz dancing element to it, the tap dancing element, I should say. Very cool. And her free skate was quite an abstract program. Very much had a few issues here with the jumps. She didn't get positive Dewey on many of the jumps, unfortunately. Slight error on the triple flip, triple toe. Downgrade, unfortunately, on the triple lutz with an edge call as well. Under rotated on the triple flip. Slight error on triple loop, double toe. Popped triple loop into double loop. Very interesting combo at the very end, though, was a triple sal, double axle, switch to the edge, double sal in the opposite direction, which she's known for. She's able to do a sal cow in both the counterclockwise and clockwise, which is absolutely astonishing and cool to see. But a very good skater. I think this is a really good example, like a lot of people say, of a great skater who's very unique. Might not have the technical score, but is still so good. And she had a lot of very much raving reviews for her programs this season. In third place is Jia Shin of South Korea. She comes up from the junior rank. She has not been seen on the senior rank except domestically in South Korea. But Jia Shin is coming up from the junior ranks where she is very well accoladed. For example, she is a four-time world junior silver medalist. Here I think was an okay. It was an okay senior international debut here. Not the best competition. She did end up third in both programs and got her first international medal, which is good. She was third in the short program with a triplets quarter call and a single toe instead of a triple triple like she was planning. And then in the free skate, she was third there as well. Quite unfortunate with three falls: fall in the triple loop, fall in the triple lutz, triple toe in the second half, and fall on a quarter triple lutz in the second half as well. you know, three falls is not really what she wanted in her first senior international free skate, but still trying to work on that for sure. New pressure, new season, new senior rank, things like that. I do think can affect a skater as they transition that way, and hopefully she's able to learn through this process. I do find Jia Shin a very lovely skater with really lovely lines and very nice flexibility, which I think her choreo really showed off quite well. She is going with two classical programs this season. The first one was Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto, I believe, or something like that. And the second program was Spartacus. And so, two classical themes program, which I do think fits her very well, playing to her strengths. She is, among the Korean women, very competitive here for the Olympic spots. There are, I believe, only two spots for the Korean women, and they are really hoping to, send their best skaters to the Olympics. Jia Shin wants to be the young, up and coming star there who can prove herself in front of the maybe older, more experienced Korean women, but she is definitely no one to underestimate because of her background in the juniors. Very impressive results there. Also, I would like to say her program to Not About Angels was so good. I honestly wish she brought it back. I love her program to Not About Angels. Oh my god. The Eno Hour. Oh my gosh. I could never forget. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, in second place, we have a skater from Kazakhstan, Sofia Samodolkina. She was second in the short and first in the free skate. She is kind of a newcomer. She did transfer from Russia and is now competing for Kazakhstan after some previous success on the junior level. In the short program, she was second place with a new personal best. Only mistake was a triple flip, triple toe, quarter call, and a little bit negative UE on that. And she was actually first in the free skate with up new personal best. Everything was good. She did get two edge calls on both her triple flip attempts, though. Not edge calls, unclear edge calls, kind of warning calls. But very dominant free skate here. Skated extremely clean, basically. Got, two triple triples done in the second half of the program. Very impressive for her. And she got new personal best all across the board. What was funny to me was that in her kiss and cry at her free skate, someone posted on Reddit that she said like, fun fact, baked beans are actually not beans or something like that. It was something like that. She kind of read it from that's my phone. She kind of read it from like this like thing on her flowers, I believe, or something like that. It was kind of a funny post. Anyway, good competition for her. Lots of potential. I think this is one of the first international medals she won. Really good for her. Personal best across the board at her first competition this season, which definitely sets up for her. Okay. Lastly, in the women's program, we had Isabeau Levito. She was first in the short program and second in the free skate. Despite not winning the free skate, I think this is a very, very strong start for Isabeau this season. She was first in the short program despite an under rotation call on her triple loop. In fact, it got really low negative GOE, which was interesting. I think the score should have been a little bit lower, maybe 2 points or so lower. With maybe 1 point. I'm being too harsh. She was second in the free skate. Nothing completely wrong here. She landed all her jumps quite well. Quarter call on the triple flip, double axle. That double axle. Wait, the triple flip got a quarter. The double axle got an under rotation, and the triplets at the very end was a little bit bobbly, and she got a little bit negative GOE for that, but not too much. Her short program is set to a song called Zuby Zuby Doo, Zuby Zuby Zoo. And I literally cannot remember the title half the time, so I just called it Scooby Doo Scooby Doo song. But it is very upbeat and very playful. I feel like it's a very playful vibe for Isabel. Classical in the beginning, but very, very playful for her. I do think she attracts the audience very well with her very playful, kind of youthful vibe, honestly, in that program. A lot of people were saying it was quite similar to her Moon River program from last season to Breakfast at Tiffany's Moon River, because that program also as well has that classical element, that singing from Audrey Hepburn, and then it moved over to this playful, very much audience appealing kind of song. So yeah, I think that comparison is definitely fair, but I think this program does have its own strengths as well. In the free skate, however, she is referring to Cinema Paradiso, which is an Italian movie. I wrote on Reddit, I think, yeah, I wrote on Reddit that I think maybe she chose it because obviously the Olympics are in Italy, but Isabel Levita herself is actually Italian. Her mom, I believe, is from Italy. And so I think it's a really good way to show homage to the Olympics, but also her own personal heritage with Cinema Paradiso. This is a classical kind of program, but also kind of a contemporary program. It shows off her lines really well. I will admit that it didn't wow me while I was watching. I was like, okay, right. It was standard for me. I think it will grow on me, for sure. A lot of people were saying that Isbo is kind of a one trick pony, in the sense that she kind of has the same vibe of program all the time. Classical, here's where I can put a spiral, here's where I can put an extension. And I don't think necessarily that she's a one trick pony. I think she's really playing to her strengths. I did see a lot of people saying this program was completely boring. They didn't want to watch it, etc. But I personally just thought that it was good. And it played to her strengths. And I think in the Olympic season, when you are someone who is a potential medalist at the Olympics, it's smart to play to your strengths. Isabel Levito is definitely one of the main frontrunners for the Olympics. She's led kind of an average, not the average, how do you say, overall, over the last 4 years, she has been the best US women as a whole over the last four quads as a whole in general. And this is a good performance to start off that season. Okay, so that was the Cranberry Cup. However, this episode was, that's kind of a short segment in this episode because I didn't kind of fill it up, I guess. And so the second half of this episode, because like I said, there are no men events, or no, there's no men events, there's no pairs events or ice dance events of the Cranberry Cup. So I'm very sorry about that. So instead, the second part of this episode, instead of talking about those two disciplines, I'm going to be talking about the current state of American figure skating, the current condition, state, quality of American figure skating. Think of this as like the president's State of the Union, where he or she addresses like all the cool things in our country, the status of our country, etc. Except it's for figure skating in America. So I want to discuss, kind of how is Team USA really doing looking towards the 2026 Olympics? Are we flopping? Are we succeeding? Are we guaranteed this? Are we guaranteed that? Also about the future of Team USA. Who is going to come out after the 2026 Olympics? Is someone going to retire? Is someone going to not retire? For sure. In the men's event, so actually, sorry, I'm gonna talk about all four disciplines about how they are fit into the current state of American figure skating. In the men's event, the men have a long, 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 long legacy of being really good in the sport. And what I mean by that is that they've had a lot of Olympic gold medals in the men's. Last Olympics, for example, they had Nathan Chen. They've had history with men doing very, very well at the Olympics, very, very well there. Ilya Molina is obviously the front runner of the American men. He has been world champion twice now. He was the first man to land a quad axel. Yada yada. I could name 5 million accomplishments that Ilya Molina has done. And yeah, he's done those things. He's the front runner. He is the biggest front runner for the Olympic gold in the men's event. A lot of men have not even been able to touch him, have not been able to do just as well as him. He's very superior technically. Meanwhile, Jason Brown has been a staple for years now. Jason Brown, dates back to the 2010, 2014 quad. He was competing then. He went to the 2014 Olympics, didn't get on the 2018 team and went to 2022. He's hoping now to go to 2026, and he's been a staple for, years now. He's been a staple for very much years, impressing us with his artistry and beautiful skating skills. And those, Ilya Molina and Jason Brown, are really the top two men. And after that, the third main US men spot because every country kind of has three skaters of a discipline that are the main ones. The third main USA man is really open. There's Jimmy Ma, Maxim Naumov, Andrew Torgashev, and the newcomer Jacob Sanchez, who I think have all kind of filled that third American man spot. There's four of them competing for one spot, and the men at the Olympics for the U.S. have three spots. If Ilya Malinin and Jason Brown take two of them, who's going to be the third one? I think the front runner in that case right now is probably Andrew Torgashev because he's been doing better at nationals compared to the other men. Internationally, maybe not as well, but still pretty decent overall. But I could totally see Jimmy Ma or Maxim Naumov or Jacob Sanchez overtake him at nationals. Nationals, I think for the men will be very interesting. I think Eli Molina and Jason Brown are kind of the front runners for that, but I think the third spot will be interesting about who the men send. Okay, in the women's is the one I am the most worried for because when I watch nationals, you better bet my eyes will be glued onto the screen during the women's free skate. I will be at the edge of my seat during the women's free skate. I personally do not think that the American women have been this strong in years, and I mean years, and entire quads. I don't remember the last time these American women were this strong. I want to say it was probably 2002 when we sent Michelle Kwan and Sarah Hughes and Sasha Cohen, 2002. These US women are so, so, so strong. This field is super strong. There are three spots for the US women. Who will they go to? We need to talk about it. I would say the front runners might be the 2025 world team. It was Isabel Levito, Amber Glenn, and Alyssa Liu. Alyssa Liu was first, Isabel Levito was fourth, and Amber Glenn, I believe, was sixth or fifth at this current Worlds, which is obviously really great. All three of them did relatively well as a whole. Any of them can make it on the Olympic team. However, we got to consider, for example, Sarah Everhart. Sarah Everhart has been a little bit of a queen of consistency. She hasn't really popped a jump. She hasn't really fallen. She is stability. She is stable. She is very, very stable on the ice. Her jumps are capable of doing very well on the ice. Very, very good for sure. But then we have, for example, Brady Tennell coming back super strong. She was injured for a while, but Brady Tennell is here and she is here to play. Recently, for example, she came back with a silver at U.S. National, no, a fourth place at U.S. Nationals and a silver at Fort Continents with what might have been the best free skate of her life. And then she went to another competition in Poland where she scored like 70 points above second place. I don't even know. It was crazy. And Brady Tennell is someone who could definitely. I need my phone to shush a little bit, but that is okay. I'm gonna turn that off for now so you guys don't hear that. Okay. But Brady Tennell coming back super strong. There was also Elise Lynn Gracie with those performances last season at the Noble Horn Trophy where she was clean. She had high Dewey, very good scores. We have Ava Marie Ziegler where she's been injured for a season. We haven't really heard from her. She hasn't really posted anything. Where are you, Ava Marie Ziegler? I don't know, but I want to see you skate too because this U.S. women's field is strong. I don't see it dying anytime soon in a way. That's a weird way to put it. So good, so strong, just amazing. But very worrying for me as a fan of all of these people. Okay. Next in the pairs event, I think pairs is currently considered by figure skating fans to be the U.S.'s worst, and that's not in a bad way, worst skating discipline. Just because they haven't had the best results does not mean they're bad at all. This quad has really been the pairs renaissance in the USA. After the retirement of Knierim and Frazier, who are really the main U.S. pair, and he had won world medals, a lot of the other pairs were kind of building up as well. They're not necessarily weak by any means. We're rebuilding the pairs. We're getting new pairs and out and into competitions for more experience. The current front runners are probably Ellie Kim and Danielle Shea, who have been U.S. national champions, who have put out some decent skates. They've been to the Grand Prix final. Really good for them. Good progress from Efimova and Mitrofanov. They had that amazing free skate, for example, at Worlds, which is just so, so beautiful. We have Chan and Hao, who are gaining more consistency again. They were leading for a while. Back in like 2023 was really a good season for them. Ever since then, they had injury, they had surgery, and they're really trying to build back. McBeath and Parkman were second at nationals this year. Another team that was quite surprising, but obviously can put out some good technical performances when it matters. Audrey Shin and Balaz Naji have also been building their new partnership as well. And there's a lot of up and coming pairs here and there that are really, really good for the development of the US pairs field. Like, this is the renaissance, this is the rebirth of the US pairs field, and not necessarily the most powerful moment in US pairs history at all. But a very good moment to rebuild that and hopefully get more medals in the future with getting these teams more experience. Okay, in ice dance for the USA, again, a very large legacy in the ice dance field. I believe that the US has won ice dance medals in every Olympics since 2006, I believe. I will definitely check. Did they win 2002 ice dance? Let's see. Who won ice dance? Did we get a medal? Okay, yeah. So they've won a medal in every single ice dance event at the Olympics since 2006, which has been, what is that? One, two, three, four, five Olympics. So obviously they want to continue that. They've won a gold with, um, what? Oh my gosh. Meryl Davis, Charlie White in 2014, for example. They've won medals. They've won all three colors of medals, actually, ever since then. Um, they are definitely, I would say, the most competitive group. I would say the women in the US are competitive, but ice dance is just, oh my god, ice dance is crazy. Chalk and Bates are the main front runners. They are the married couple. They are the lovebirds. They are the artistic, the different, the unique ones who are the main front runners. They've been world champ three times now, I believe, and they seem to be growing strong and they haven't made too many mistakes. And Chalk and Bates are a very skilled team. They have that repertoire, they have that reputation and that rapport with the judging panel and the audience as well. They're very much fan favorites. Carrera and Ponomarenko have, in my opinion, established themselves solidly at number two. They are a team who has been top five at Worlds. They are a team that has, won Grand Prix medals, a few bronzes here and there. Carrera Ponomarenko is a very, very solid team. I do think that they probably are likely to go to the Olympics. I don't know about the citizenship issues. I know Christina Carrera is Canadian actually, and she doesn't have her U.S. citizenship yet, so it will depend on that. But then everyone else is kind of mixed up, kind of like the man, where there's these main two that I think are pretty solid, and then the rest of the field is very mixed up. We have teams like Zingis and Kolesnik, Green and Parsons, Brown and Brown, Brady, Somerville, and Peyton By. All five of those teams are very mixed up, and they've I think three of them have gone to Worlds, and they've all had Grand Prix spots, and they've all done this, they've all done that, they've all had decent showings at nationals, etc. What is interesting is when you throw in the Shibutani siblings, because Maya and Alex Shibutani decided to return for the Olympic season, which is crazy. But oh my gosh, all the power to them, obviously. And so they are a really big dilemma because they won the bronze at the Olympics back in 2018. They have not competed in 7 years, 7 seasons, and they are here, I guess. They're here to compete. They're here to be back, and very good for them. All the power to them, obviously. And so we will see where that one comes out as well. But the Shibsibs are back. They could ruin the entire ice dance hierarchy in the US, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how everything will turn out for US. But again, Chalk and Bates and Kura Ponomarenko feel solid. Maybe the Shibsibs might mess it up. I don't know. Anyway, that was all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talking about both the Cranberry Cup and the current state of American figure skating. Oh, I forgot to mention that the US is pretty likely to win a medal at the team event at the Olympics. Probably silver or gold. I think Team Japan might be their only main enemy, their main rival there. But anyway, that was the end of the episode. Sorry about that addendum, the little addition to add. Sorry. But again, there is not really a huge big competition for a while until September. So I might do a video essay next week and then maybe a kind of summer season summary thing again. That episode did really well last year when I did it and covered a bunch of competitions in one kind of sitting. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what I feel like doing. But I hope you guys are all very excited for these skating content. This one competition with two disciplines reminded me of how starved we were of figure skating content. So happy to see figure skating again. So happy to see skaters and new programs and a new season. Really refreshes my brain and my mind and distracts me from the school that I hate going to school. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of a Teen Talks Game podcast. My name is Zango. If you guys all have an amazing week, and I will hear from you guys next week for a video essay episode. And yeah, bye bye.